Today, we're going to talk about something really powerful. What if the most underrated key to success is actually just patience? Let's dive in.
Do you ever get that feeling? You're scrolling online, you see someone else's highlight reel, and you just feel like you're completely falling behind. It's so easy to get caught in that trap. But what if the way we're even thinking about success is, well, just wrong?
Yeah, in this crazy, fast-paced world, we're sold this idea of overnight success. But you know what? It's a myth, and honestly, it's a pretty dangerous one. I want to explore why, and the best way to do that is with a simple story.
Okay, so picture this. We're in a quiet valley, and there's this young man named Leo, and he has a pretty simple but really important dream. He wants to build a strong, beautiful wall to protect his family's land.
So Leo gets to work. I mean, he really gets to work. Every single morning, he's out there, finding just the right heavy stones, carefully mixing the mortar, and placing them one by one by one. It was slow, totally exhausting, back-breaking stuff. I mean, after a whole month, he'd barely finished this tiny little section.
Now, while Leo is grinding it out, his neighbor, well, he takes a totally different route. He's over there laughing at Leo's snail's pace. He grabs some cheap wood, slaps together this flashy-looking fence in just 3 days. 3 days! And then he spends his afternoons just kicking back, kind of mocking Leo for all his hard work. And you can just imagine how discouraging that was for Leo.
So Leo's feeling totally defeated. He's just sitting there by his tiny, unfinished wall, and this wise old farmer comes by and sees how down he is. Leo basically just asks him, "Why is this so hard for me when my neighbor finished in no time at all?" And the farmer's response? Well, it was simple, but it was one of those things that just changes your whole perspective. It made Leo stop thinking about speed and start thinking about substance. All right, so fast forward a few months. A massive storm rolls into the valley. And this isn't just a little rain shower. We're talking howling winds, torrential rain. This was going to be the ultimate test for both that wooden fence and Leo's stone wall.
The next morning, the sun comes up and the damage is just stark. The neighbor's flashy wooden fence, it was completely gone, obliterated. But Leo's stone wall, the one he built so slowly and so carefully, it was standing perfectly firm. Not a single scratch on it.
So obviously, this story isn't really just about building walls, right? It's a huge lesson for any of us who are trying to build something that actually matters, whether that's your career, or learning a new skill, or working towards some big personal goal. So what are the big takeaways here? Well, first, you've got to build a solid foundation. Shortcuts, they just lead to fragile things that crumble under pressure. Second, and this one's huge, you have to trust the growth you can't see. The most important work is often happening completely under the surface. And finally, you have to focus on your own daily habits. Real success comes from those small, consistent efforts you make over time.
That idea of unseen growth can be tough to wrap your head around, but nature actually gives us a perfect example. It's called the bamboo tree principle, and it's an amazing metaphor for doing that patient, foundational work.
So get this, a Chinese bamboo tree. For the first 4 years, you water it, you tend to it, and you see absolutely nothing, not a single sprout. It looks like nothing is happening. But what's really going on is that it's building this massive, complex root system underground. And then in that 5th year, it just explodes. It shoots up 90 feet in only 6 weeks. All that hard work you're putting in right now, it's just like that. You might not see the results yet, but you are building the strong roots you need for that massive growth later on. Okay, so this brings it all back to you. Let's make this personal. What is the stone wall that you are trying to build in your life right now? Because true lasting success, it's really not about getting lucky. It's not about that one big break. It's all about the process. It's about placing one stone every single day, especially when no one else is even watching.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question. Forget about the flashy fences you see other people building. Stop worrying about their speed. Focus on your foundation. My question for you is, what stone will you place today